Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for coming along to this session and showing your interest. So this session is about curing paralysis and how can we fast track it. And we've got 5 speakers today, each talking about their own area. We're going from the patient to the clinician, to the scientists, to the rehab specialist and into the future. And if we can go to the chairs slides. We have it there. So, spinal cord injury is what we're working on, and it's a devastating injury. And we've got Lindsay Knott here, who will be talking about his experience of living with spinal cord injury. In Australia, there are about 15,000 people who live with spinal cord injury, and it's devastating because it happens to perfectly normal people. It's just in a flash, an instant, the lives are changed, and there's no cure for it. So, not yet at least. But it's the cost of the care that creates a big burden for Australian society. With 300 people or so a year being injured, and the lifetime care costs being around about $7.5 million per patient. Depends if you're quadriplegic or paraplegic, but on average it's about $7.5 million for their lifetime care. It costs the Australian society $2 billion a year. So it's quite clear that there's a high unmet need for therapy. Apart from the fact that people are calling out for a therapy to get their lives back on track. I went down to the International Society for Spinal Cord Injury International Symposium down in Sydney a few months ago, and 2 people independently said to me that there's been no major advance or therapy in the spinal cord injury field for the last 40 years. So it's quite clear that we need to change the way we do the research and change the way we think about it, and so that we can get the therapies as soon as possible out into the clinic. If we look at how we can work together as a community, it's quite clear that when we do work together, we can achieve amazing outcomes. When the Americans decided they wanted to go to the moon, the whole society was behind it. They put in huge amounts of money. They knew what they had to achieve, and they put together the technologies and the brains to make it happen. So we'd like to think that if we use the same approach here, then we can also achieve the impossible, which is to repair the injured spinal cord. And so the purpose of our session today is to discuss what we need to do and work out the best ways of achieving it in the shortest possible time. And perhaps most importantly is to achieve it here in Australia. Our first speaker is Lindsay Knott. We did have Perry Cross lined up. He's the founder of the Perry Cross Spinal Research Foundation. It was Perry who sort of pushed us along the path of the innovation pipeline to fast track the therapy. Way back in 2014, he was discussing the advances that have been happening around the world and said to me, what are we going to be doing about getting this therapy delivered here in Australia? And it was quite a powerful message to me that we had to stop just doing science and then actually translate it and get it into the clinic. And so that's led us on our path, which we'll talk about throughout this afternoon. So I'll just leave it there, and I'll pass over to Lindsay, who is a great speaker, motivational speaker, who can tell us about what it's like to live with spinal cord injury. We have to understand what the end user wants so that we can get the right therapy. So welcome, Lindsay.
Thank you, James. Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Lindsay. Hope you're having a great day. Yes, I'm filling in for Perry. I've known Perry for the last 25 years. We actually spent our time together in the spinal unit. And it will be on the 19th of November, 25 years since my spinal cord injury, which happened about 200 metres across the road at the South Bank Pool. It's the last day of grade 12. We did our ceremony, we went and got our certificates, we left. 4 of us went to the South Bank Pool. We were going to meet up with some other family and friends. 4 of us ran into the pool, 3 came up, and I was the unlucky one that hit my head on the bottom of the pool, and here I am today. So I'll tell you about my journey. I had a job to go to on the Monday. I had Army Cadet Camp that afternoon to attend. I spent the next 12 months in the spinal unit at the PA hospital. I was 17 years old. My younger brother was 6 weeks old. My middle brother was in grade 10, and this was 25 years ago. My family visited me every day for a year. That is a hell of a lot for them to go through. Also, I had my 18th, Christmas, New Year, Easter, and I left hospital 1 week before my 19th birthday. I spent 2 months in skeletal tongs, screwed into the side of my skull with about 10 pounds of weight on the back. I'm not sure what that is in kilos, but that was there for traction. So I couldn't operate on my spine because of the swelling that did the damage. It actually did very minor bone damage. It was the swelling that caused the damage to the nerves. I was actually told that I potentially could have walked with a walking stick, but it was the swelling that caused the damage that left me in a wheelchair now. So after I did rehab, I then got out and I did rehab in the unit 5 days a week. I did OT for 2 hours of a morning, physiotherapy in the afternoon for 2 hours. And I did that for the next 10 months. I then left hospital, went back home. I'm back to my family home, back to my old bedroom. A lot of old memories before my accident and what it was like living as a normal person, as in an able-bodied, I should say. And out of that, I went back home to very minor modifications completed compared to what some people can get today. I had to shower in my laundry in the home that was not accessible because we couldn't raise the house, they couldn't get into the shower. So I had a 5-meter hose, extension hose, that I showered on with for the next, up until 10 years ago, sorry. And I had to shower with that with my carers and go to the toilet over a bucket because I couldn't get into the toilet properly, knowing which my bowel therapy worked. So out of that, I was able to finally find my feet and adjust to my life with a spinal cord injury. I eventually did some work with the Brisbane City Council. I've been volunteering for almost 23 years now up at the spinal unit, doing some peer mentor with the patients and explaining life does go on. Yes, I do work. I do office administration. I volunteer at the spinal unit. I attend the gym 3 days a week. I'm able to live a full life. I'm able to travel as well, which I've been very fortunate enough to do. But my carer had a dream just recently. She told me that she dreamt that I was able to walk for a week. I was only allowed to walk for 1 week, and would I take that opportunity? I said, hell yes. The only condition was I had to be back in my chair again, living in the same situation, and I would take the opportunity any day of the week to be able to get back up and walk and do a normal activities would be my dream. And Perry's dream and the assistance of the team over here to get us to back up and to move again would be unbelievable and be something that words can't describe. So yes, I did say yes, I would take that opportunity. When I was in the spinal unit, I was informed that I would be allowed to travel. I could travel to where the Paralympics had been. Infrastructure would be in place to allow someone with a disability to be able to travel. But in saying that, today I turned up to the convention centre to come and present here. The main lift at the taxi rank is out of order. I have to find another way to get into the building to be able to come up in here today. I have a ramp to get up on stage to present to everybody. So yes, the built environment, there is a physical challenge around that we do have unmet needs that we need to allow everybody with an ageing disability an ageing community to have a full and healthy life to live. I have recently just had a tough couple of weeks. My main carer, she's on placement at the moment as nursing, and in that time I have to now deal with agency carers and fill-in carers that I'm not used to. I have to teach my routine every morning for the next 4 weeks virtually to new carers are coming in to get me up to go to bed, get me out of bed and to put me in bed at night. So in that, I lie in bed of a morning, I'm unable to get up. If someone turns up, I stay in bed all day. But the other morning, my carer turned up 15 minutes late. Instead of being there at 6:30, she was there at 6:45. Out of that, I am now having to rearrange my day because I have a taxi at 8:30 in the morning to take me to work to be ready at 9:30. out of that, I was unable to have a shower because she doesn't know my routine. I wasn't able to have breakfast. I was able to just get out the door and get to work, and then I have to put on my happy face, go, hello, how are you? And answer the phone, do my reception work and all this for the next 5.5, 6 hours. So I'm the one having to live with that experience of going through that. When I have my carers on a normal routine, life runs a lot smoothly, a hell of a lot easier for me. But I still have the consequences of living with a spinal cord injury, right from pressure care marks, daily checks every day and morning and night to make sure I don't have any skin issues. I went away in 2013 to Cairns on a holiday. The seat wasn't manufactured properly. I slipped on the seat and I got a scratch. I then got a pressure mark, which I had to spend 1.5 years to heal. I had spent 4 months in bed 24/7 with a stage 3 pressure mark, which they almost wanted to operate on, which meant another 1.5 years in bed. I was able to get that healed and get out and go away. So these are the effects that I live with every day, and every other person with a spinal cord injury. Some more than others. Perry has a lot more than myself, and other people have a lot less than me. But we all have a lifelong consequences of our spinal cord injury. Yes, I can go to rehab and do my bit. It is hard. It's a lot of hard work, but I enjoy going to the gym. The social aspect of it, but the physical side and the happiness I can get out of something physical that I can do, maintaining my fitness. But it is hard work, and I enjoy that part of it. So I am prepared for when we do get a cure, that I can get in and have the assistance through the physios and all the exercise staff that are around to assist. Yes, I'm up for it, so bring it on. That's me, I think. Thank you guys. Unless you've got some questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thanks, Lindsay. That was wonderful. Do we have questions from the audience? So, from my point of view, it's quite clear that while we're about technology solutions here, so a therapy for someone such as Lindsay or the rest of Australians is not just about repairing the spinal cord, but it's also changing the environment and our built environment in which we live. So when we work with people with spinal cord injury, we're much more aware of the difficulties, having the ramp in place. If you don't have that at your forefront of thinking, then you might ignore these things. So we're very much aware that our solution for therapy for spinal cord injury has to involve the whole patient experience, not just a cell transplantation, for example. So thanks, Lindsay, for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Very much appreciate it.
No worries.